The Philippine seas are facing two growing concerns: the discovery of venomous jellyfish species, the Chironex yamaguchi, and the rising threat of red tide in various areas. According to recent studies, this dangerous jellyfish, primarily found in Japan, has now been spotted in Philippine waters. Meanwhile, with increasing heat, red tide occurrences are intensifying in some parts of the country. To provide insights into these issues, we are now joined today via Zoom by Mr. Nazer Briguera, the spokesperson for the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR. Magandang umaga, Sir Briguera. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, magandang umaga, Paolo. It's a great opportunity again to be here with you.
Sir Nazer, let's start first here with the jellyfish that we have found in the Philippines recently. This is the Chironex yamaguchi, again, native to Japan, or at least most found in Japan. Is this the exact same species we have found here in the Philippines, or is there just genetic similarities or maybe physical similarities? What can we expect with the species we found here in the Philippines?
Most likely, this particular species can also be found in the Philippines because for the information to the public, in terms of jellyfish, we have about 38 species of jellyfish in the Philippines. So, marami talagang klase, and most likely itong sinasabi na galing sa Japan ay ito rin talaga yung makikita rito sa Pilipinas.
When you say it's venomous, we say it's harmful. What are the adverse effects po if you get stung by this particular species of jellyfish?
Yes, there are actually jellyfish. There are kinds of jellyfish which are actually harmful or venomous, especially yung tinatawag natin na box jellyfish, yung class belonging to class Cubosa. So this is a kind of jellyfish na may lason siyang dala at lalo na pagka dumikit ito sa katawan ng tao. So nagiging harmful ito. Nagkakaroon ng ng masamang epekto sa katawan ng tao.
Is there any particular location po we can find this species, yung Chironex yamaguchi here in the Philippines? Where has it been spotted so far?
Ah, I haven't checked on the exact location where this particular species of jellyfish can actually be found because I've said most likely it's the same species that can be found in the Philippines, taking into account that there are actually 38 species of jellyfish in the Philippines. But when we talk about jellyfish in terms of concentration, widespread naman 'yan sa mga karagatan natin. For example, as we have heard recently, there was actually high concentration of population of jellyfish in Camarines Sur, particularly in Caramoan, and it was actually the place where there was an incident happened namatay yung isang bata dahil nakapitan ng jellyfish. So the Philippines being a tropical country ay kalat talaga ang jellyfish sa ating mga karagatan.
Well, it's also part of yung tinatawag na coral triangle itong Pilipinas, wherein
Yes, yes,
this
yes.
certain species of jellyfish can be found. Knowing that this particular species is here, do you think it would actually significantly, or if at all, impact yung Philippine tourism natin, especially when it comes to ecotourism in certain areas?
Yes, definitely. That's why we are really, encouraging the local government units who are the frontliners in terms of management of the municipal waters to actually implement information education programs, especially during peak season, where there are a lot of tourists in the area. So we really need to educate the tourist in terms of this contact with jellyfish because there is really a danger once a person has a contact with this jellyfish. So it's actually fatal pagka hindi ka agad nalapatan ng first aid.
Are there any precautions Filipinos should take, or even foreign tourists should take, if encountering or if they do spot jellyfish?
Mas maganda kung maliligo yung isang tao, according to experts, no, it's advisable that the body is covered. ano siya, may clothing na covered talaga yung katawan. And in terms of first aid, it would be good if there's a person who has actually contact with a jellyfish, or na sting ng jellyfish, ang ipanghuhugas ay yung vinegar. Kaya siguro lalo na dun sa mga nag-island hopping, napaka-importante na dun sa bangka, may baon kayong vinegar, because just in case na magkaroon ng insidente na kung saan nagkaroon ng pag-sting ng jellyfish, yung kasi talaga yung first aid, yung vinegar. Washing it with cold water would actually aggravate the situation. So according to experts, it's actually vinegar who can be used as first aid for jellyfish sting.
Right, Sir Nazaire, let's now shift to red tide po. This discussion, of course, is associated with the rise of temperatures in the water, especially. Is there a rise in red tide occurrences in the country so far? And of course, are there any locations in particular that are in danger of this at the moment?
Well, first we need to understand that red tide is actually a natural phenomenon. It's actually caused by the multiplication of a microorganism called dinoflagellates, and it happens naturally in the environment. No, so we could say that we cannot really detect as to when or where. How long will be the red tide occurrence will happen in a particular area, because it's a natural phenomenon. So what we can do is actually to have a regular monitoring of the waters in those areas known to have red tide incidents. No, but right now, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, in collaboration with the local government units, we have a regular monitoring program. And in fact, based on our Shellfish Bulletin number 6, dated February 25, 2025, the following areas are positive for red tide. These are the coastal waters of Milagros and Masbate, coastal waters of Leyte and Leyte, Matarino Bay in Eastern Samar, Duminguillas Bay in Zamboanga del Sur, and coastal waters of Tungawan in Zamboanga, Sibugay Province. So our message for these areas, we are actually informing the public not to eat, not to buy, not to sell any kinds of shellfish, including those alamang. But yung mga ano naman, isda, pusit, hipon, and alimasag, they are safe to eat. They're safe to eat provided they are thoroughly clean before cooking.
Sir, you mentioned that the only thing we can do really is monitor them. But then in terms of managing situations like this, what can BFAR actually offer those affected by it, especially those who are reliant on shellfish para sa hanap buhay na po nila?
As I've said, it's a natural phenomenon. So, having an artificial intervention, no, by introducing some chemicals or anything into the waters would not help.
Yeah.
It might not even aggravate the situation. Now, as you said, livelihood actually is affected. So during the times that a particular area has red tide advisory, the government through the BFAR also implements alternative livelihood program. There are also other alternative that can, in terms of livelihood, that can be offered to our fisher folk. And I've said the advisory is limited only to the eating, selling, and buying of shellfish. But in terms of fishing, they can still go fishing because I've said, the fish, the squid, the shrimp, and the crabs, they can be eaten provided they are thoroughly clean before cooking.
For those wondering po, how long does red tide typically last? Yung duration po niya on average? Or is there a way to predict it? Or of course, a way to siguro shorten the season for red tide?
There is no way to actually no way to detect as to how long would be the occurrence of red tide in a particular area. That's why what we can do is to do regular monitoring on a weekly basis, and until such time that we find out that the based on the samples that the waters is already free of red tide, that's the only the time that we will declare that a particular area is red tide free. So regular monitoring and public information campaign should be part of the primary management in terms of red tide occurrence.
Are there any visible signs on the shellfish mismo, sir, that people can look at to see if whether or not may red tide nga ang kinakain nila?
There's no physical sign as to the contamination of red tide in, for example, in a shellfish. So it can only be determined through laboratory analysis. So that's why we really advise the people that if there is a red tide advisory in a particular area, please follow the advisory because that is based on science that we can actually say that a particular area or the shellfish in a particular area are positive of red tide. So we must follow the advisory for our own sake in terms of public safety.
So what are the normal health risks involved with consuming any item with red tide?
Uh, Once a person eats, for example, a shellfish contaminated with red tide. That's why we call the condition as paralytic shellfish poisoning. Because once a person ingests a shellfish or alamang, contaminated with red tide, the person experiences paralysis in terms of his or her body system. That's why it's called paralytic shellfish poisoning. So ang unang nararamdaman pamamanhid ng labi, hirap sa paghinga, pamamanhid ng katawan hanggang magresulta siya sa cardiac arrest. So yun yung mga nararamdaman ng isang tao kapag nakakakain siya ng shellfish na may red tide. And we really advise that once a person experiences these symptoms and there is a suspicion that the cause is really because of no, eating shellfish contaminated with red tide. So the best thing to do is to go to the nearest healthcare facility sa hospital po, para malapatan ng lunas ang taong pinagsususpetsahan na nakakain ng shellfish na may red tide.
He's a spokesperson for the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, Mr. Nazer Briguera. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Paolo, for this opportunity.